She left me a note, folded once, placed neatly by the coffee pot, and just like that, she was gone. Her side of the bed, cold. Jewelry box empty. Every trace of her vanished. But it wasn't the note that broke me. It was what came next. 12 hours later, 3 bank alerts. 2 credit cards maxed out. 1 joint business account. Drained. She didn't just leave me. She tried to destroy me. But here's what she didn't know. That account wasn't just mine. It was a shared fund between me and her father. She thought she was taking revenge on me. She was stealing from the one man who trusted her most. And that's when things got interesting. Ever seen a woman burn her entire life to the ground, thinking she was burning yours? This is not a love story, not even a breakup story. This is a reckoning. Before the note, before the missing money, before the handcuffs and court dates, there was Adam. He woke up at 6:00 a.m. every day. Same coffee, same work boots, same steady rhythm. He didn't crave attention, didn't post inspirational quotes, didn't try to impress. He just showed up for everything. 15 years as a construction foreman, built homes, fixed schools, managed workers who didn't take orders from anyone but respected Adam. Because he was fair, because he listened, because he gave people a second chance. He believed in sweat, in showing up early, in paying your bills on time, and in keeping promises even when no one's watching. Minneapolis winters are tough, but Adam tougher. He wasn't flashy, didn't care about fancy dinners or big cars, but he loved deeply, quietly, especially Stephanie, the woman who walked into his life like summer sun on icy pavement. She was beautiful, loud, alive, impulsive, everything he wasn't, and maybe that's what drew him in. They married after 2 years. She said she loved how steady he was, how safe she felt. And Adam, he thought he had finally found peace, a life he could build not just with his hands, but with his heart. But peace has a way of shattering when you ignore the cracks. Stephanie Monroe walked like she owned every room, not with arrogance, but with sparkle. She had this laugh, loud, contagious, the kind that made strangers smile. She told stories with her hands, and never finished her drink because she was always talking. People noticed her. Men leaned in. Women rolled their eyes, then laughed along anyway. She had a way of making boring feel exciting, of turning grocery shopping into an adventure, of dancing barefoot in the kitchen at midnight while Adam stood there tired, but smiling. But behind the charm was chaos. Receipts she didn't remember. Packages that just showed up. A credit card bill that kept creeping up then disappearing somehow. She called it retail therapy. Adam called it manageable, because love does that, it manages, until it can't. Stephanie wasn't evil. She was entitled, raised in comfort cushioned by her father's wealth. When her mom died, young, Gerald tried to fill the emptiness with things. A new car, a designer bag, permission to say yes to everything. She never learned boundaries, never learned no. And Adam, he was too gentle to teach her. She loved excitement, loved risk. And over time, steady started to feel boring, especially when temptation whispered that boring wasn't good enough. Gerald Monroe was old school, suit pressed, tie straight, handshakes firm. He built Monroe Precision Medical from a rented garage to a multi-million-dollar facility just outside Minneapolis. Not through shortcuts, not through charm, but through grit. He knew every employee's name, showed up on holidays, took out the trash when no one else would. He didn't believe in luck, he believed in systems. And when Adam married his daughter, Gerald didn't trust him, not right away. But he watched. And over time, he saw something in Adam he hadn't seen in years. Integrity. One afternoon over coffee, Gerald said, "You remind me of the men I built this place with. You don't talk much, but when you do, you mean it." So when he needed help to protect funds from business expansion, he didn't ask his lawyers. He didn't ask his board. He asked Adam. A private joint account. Just him and his son-in-law. No one else, not even Stephanie, would know. "Not because I don't love her," he said, "but because I know her." Gerald wasn't blind. He was just hopeful. He thought trust might fix what parenting couldn't. He thought loyalty ran in the blood. He was wrong. The house was too quiet. Even the creaks in the floorboards felt like they were holding their breath. Adam walked into the kitchen. Same mug, same counter, Same sunlight stretching across the hardwood floor. But something was off. No footsteps, no humming, no Stephanie. Just a single piece of paper, folded twice, placed neatly beside the coffee. He opened it. 10 words. I deserve better. I found someone who makes me feel alive. That was it. No name, no apology, no explanation. Just silence, and her side of the bed still made. He called her phone, straight to voicemail. Walked to the bedroom, her jewelry box gone. Closet half empty. Desk drawer where he kept emergency cash wide open. No bags left behind, no mess, just absence. The kind that hums, the kind that echoes. He didn't cry, didn't yell. He just stood there in his own home feeling like an intruder. Because the woman he loved had walked out of their life like it was a hotel room. And the worst part, she made it look easy. The first alert came at 9:12 a.m. Suspicious activity detected First North Bank. $5,000. Attempted cash withdrawal. Declined. Adam blinked. That wasn't his card. Wasn't even his bank. Second alert, 9:28 a.m. Different bank, different account. Another $7,000 gone. Approved this time. His heart started pounding. He opened his laptop, checked his statements. One account after another, charges piling up like a storm surge. $12,000 at a luxury department store. $4,600 at a hotel booking site. $9,800 Apple Store, downtown Minneapolis. And then it hit him. The joint business account. He logged in, hands shaking. Balance $1,734.52. That account had held over $160,000 just 3 days ago. Gone. Just gone. His breathing turned shallow. He wasn't just abandoned. He was being erased. Every card, every password, everything she ever knew about their finances, she was using it. Like weapons. And then his phone buzzed again. This time it was Gerald. It was Gerald. Not a text, not an email, a call. And Gerald never called. Not before noon, not on a weekday. Adam answered. Gerald. Silence. Then a breath. Then, something's wrong. Gerald's voice was low, tight, not angry, but scared. I just got off the phone with First North, he said. There were 2 large cash withdrawals this morning. Adam's stomach dropped. How much? 50,000. Then another 20 minutes later, the air in Adam's lungs vanished. They said someone came into separate branches. Same ID, same signature. Gerald's voice cracked. They flagged it, but it was already too late. Adam gripped the edge of the table, felt it dig into his palm. He knew. Before Gerald said it, he already knew. It's Stephanie. She's the only other person who had access to that information. Silence. 2 men. 1 trust, 1 betrayal. She thinks it's my money, Gerald. She doesn't know it's ours. Another pause. Then Gerald whispered, Then she's not just stealing from you. She's stealing from her father. The screen flickered. Then came the footage. There she was, clear as day. Stephanie, in heels, smiling, hair tied back, designer coat, sliding a driver's license across the counter like she owned the world. Not a hoodie, not a mask. No urgency. She wasn't hiding. She wasn't running. She was proud. 3 angles, 3 branches, 3 tellers who all greeted her by name. Mrs. Wesley, how can we help you today? And she helped herself to $80,000 in crisp banded stacks. Gerald didn't speak. He just stared, hands clenched, jaw locked. Adam looked away, not because he couldn't bear to watch, but because he already had. He'd seen this version of her before. Charming, confident, dangerous. The bank manager adjusted his glasses, coughed. She had all the info, he said. Account numbers, routing codes, security answers, everything. We assumed she was authorized. Gerald turned voice like steel. She wasn't. The room fell quiet again. But the damage, it was already screaming. This wasn't impulsive. Not a meltdown. Not a moment of rage. This was planned, calculated, executed, with precision. Adam opened the top drawer of his desk. Receipts, envelopes, bank statements, some torn open, but not by him. His laptop. History wiped clean. Password manager logged out. His wallet out of place. And then it hit him. 3 weeks ago, he caught her at his desk late at night. She said she was printing flight tickets. Now he knew she was printing bank details. He checked emails, archived folders. Stephanie had forwarded 2 statements to herself hidden under subject line insurance forms. He searched the trash bin, shredded notes, post-its with routing numbers, doodles of signatures, his own handwriting. Practiced. It wasn't sloppy, it was methodical. Even the credit cards, ones he never applied for, had his name. But her fingerprints, she'd been watching, learning, asking questions that felt casual at the time. What day does payroll hit again? Did you ever update that savings account? Now they felt surgical. She hadn't just left him. She'd studied him like a system to be hacked. She thought she was destroying her husband. Thought she was getting even for every quiet dinner, every missed compliment, every time Adam said no to something shiny. She thought she was taking back control by maxing cards, rerouting money, draining accounts. But what Stephanie didn't know was that the account she emptied wasn't Adam's. It was Gerald's. Money set aside for expansion, for new machinery, for 12 new jobs at the plant, for holiday bonuses, for medical equipment upgrades, generational money, earned with knuckles, with sweat, with Sundays spent on the factory floor. She thought she was punishing Adam, but all she did was betray the one man who still believed in her. Gerald stared at the computer screen, account balance blinking $1,734.52, from $160,000 to nothing. He looked at Adam. I trusted her. Adam nodded. So did I. There was no yelling, no plates thrown, no slammed doors. Just 2 men, and the wreckage left behind by someone they both loved. She thought she'd burned Adam's world to the ground. She didn't realize she'd set fire to her own name. They didn't find her in Miami or Vegas or some spa in California. They found her in a cabin off Route 61 near the Canadian border. Room 206, single queen bed, TV stuck on static. She used a stolen credit card to check in, bought 2 prepaid phones, left no forwarding address. But she didn't know fraud leaves footprints. The arrest happened at 6:17 a.m. She answered the door in sweatpants, hair in a bun, no makeup, no smile, no luxury, no lover, just silence. She didn't ask why, because she knew. The officer read her rights. She nodded, didn't protest, didn't cry, just sat down on the motel bed and looked out the window, like someone waking up from the longest dream of their life and finding nothing left. No one came for her, no lawyer, no family, not even Kane, just 4 walls, a duffel bag, and the weight of everything she'd taken following her into the backseat of that cruiser. Stephanie Monroe wasn't arrested in a penthouse suite. She was arrested alone and empty. She waited. An hour, then 2. No one came. No flowers, no bail, no Kane. The man she left everything for, the one she said made her feel alive again, he was gone. And not just emotionally, gone physically. He'd used her cards, her trust, her meltdown. While she was ransacking Adam's life, Kane was planning his exit. He bought a used truck in cash, booked a flight to Arizona under a fake name, and the prepaid phone burned. The last charge on her stolen Amex. Not jewelry, not a resort, not a romantic getaway. It was a one-way gas purchase in Kane's name 400 miles south. Detectives traced it, but it didn't matter. He'd vanished, left her with the mess, the evidence, the prison cell. Stephanie thought she was the storm. Turns out she was just a cloud passing through Kane's sky. The betrayal cut clean. No drama, no confrontation. Just silence. Then paperwork. Then handcuffs. Stephanie had set out to ruin a man who loved her and got destroyed by a man who never did. She sat down. Hair pulled back, eyes red, face smaller. Adam, she whispered. Thank God you came. He didn't speak, just looked at her. Not with anger, not even pity. Just stillness. I made a mistake, she began. I thought you were hiding things from me. She stammered, words spilling like a flood. Blame, fear, regret. I thought you were planning to leave me, Adam. I saw the accounts. I didn't understand. You didn't ask, he said quietly. You just took. She paused. Tears began to fall, but they landed without sound. I didn't know it was Dad's money. Her voice broke. I swear. I thought it was yours. Adam nodded, slowly. I believe you, he said. And that's the saddest part. She leaned forward. Adam, please. Talk to him. Tell him I'll pay it back. We can fix this. He shook his head. You ended this, Stephanie, when you wrote that note, when you picked revenge over truth. She mouthed one last word. Please. He stood up, buttoned his coat, looked her in the eye. You didn't just lose me. You lost everyone who was still rooting for you. They came because Gerald asked, and Gerald never asked. Not about business, not about family, not unless it was serious. They sat on leather chairs, cups of untouched coffee, no small talk, no laughter. He stood by the fireplace, shoulders square, eyes tired. I have something to say, he began. His voice didn't shake, but his soul did. Stephanie stole from the company. Gasps. Tyler stood up. What do you mean, like, money? Not some, Gerald said. Most $160,000. Gone. From our expansion account. Janet's hand covered her mouth. But why you've always taken care of her. Gerald looked down, then met Adam's eyes. She thought it was his. She was trying to hurt him. Marcus leaned forward. You mean she didn't even know it was yours? Gerald nodded. She tried to destroy Adam and instead destroyed her place in this family. Silence stretched. No one defended her. No one could. Gerald continued. I filed a police report and I hired a lawyer. He paused. Let it land. She's still my daughter, but from this moment on, she stands alone. 3 weeks before the big theft, Gerald had noticed a missing $4.200, assumed it was a delay in vendor invoices. 2 months before that, $6.100, labeled equipment parts. No equipment ever arrived. Then $2.900, then $1.750. Different accounts, different branches. He thought it was accounting errors, but it wasn't. His accountant pulled the statements, cross-referenced dates. March 12th, July 6th, October 19th. Each one lined up with weekends. Stephanie dropped by his office, alone, unannounced. Just checking on Dad, she said. But what she was really checking was what she could get away with. Tiny cuts, spread over months, until the vein was open and the heart was dry. Adam stood in the doorway, arms folded. You think she was testing you? He asked. Gerald didn't look up. I think she was building her courage to take more. He sighed, closed the final folder. There's no mistake, he said. She's been stealing for over a year. Today just happened to be the day she got greedy. He didn't flinch, didn't ask for special treatment, didn't beg the DA for leniency. He just said one thing. Do what you need to do. Gerald Monroe, CEO, father, now complainant. He filed the report, signed the affidavit, reviewed the video, checked every line item. Stephanie Monroe, charged with grand theft, fraud, and corporate embezzlement. Amount stolen $160,000 plus restitution pending. Bail denied. The papers were stamped, the case opened, and the family legacy protected. Outside the courthouse, Gerald stood still, snow gathering on his coat. Adam looked over. You sure about this? He asked. Gerald nodded. She made her choice, he said, and now I make mine. It's not about revenge. It's about responsibility. She hurt the people who built this place. She risked the jobs of people who trusted her name. She may be my daughter, but today she's just another adult, facing the consequences of her decisions. Stephanie lost more than money. She lost her marriage, her father's trust, her family name. She walked away to find something better, but all she found was an orange jumpsuit and silence. In the end, the only person she outsmarted was herself. As for Adam, he didn't scream, didn't plot, didn't become what she accused him of being. He just stood still and let the storm pass. Gerald never raised his voice, but his silence said everything. By choosing justice, he lost a daughter, but saved the legacy she would have buried. That's the thing about betrayal. It doesn't always arrive with knives or shouting. Sometimes it comes with a smile, a kiss on the cheek, and a signature on a withdrawal slip. But here's the lesson. Integrity may not protect you from pain, but it will carry you through it. Adam didn't win by fighting back. He won by staying exactly who he was when no one was watching. And Stephanie, She thought she had written the final page, but life had the last word. A few weeks after the trial, Gerald sent Adam a letter. Just one sentence. When you're ready, there's still a place for you here. Adam hasn't answered yet. He's not rushing. He's not running. He's just rebuilding, quietly, patiently, like he always has. Because some storms leave everything broken, but others, they clear the sky. And now, I want to ask you something. If you were Gerald, would you have pressed charges against your own child? Would you choose justice over blood? And if you were Adam, could you forgive someone who tried to erase you? Could you stand tall without ever raising your voice? Tell me, have you ever trusted someone so deeply only to watch them weaponize that trust against you? If this story reminded you of someone or something you've lived through, share it. Someone out there needs to know they're not alone. And maybe, just maybe they need to hear this. Sometimes, the best revenge is not revenge at all. Just peace and the freedom to walk forward without looking back.